I'm Eric Singer, Gazette.com, and this is Between the Lines. We're focusing on what happened in the case against Helen Collins the City Council was listening to from the Ethics Commission. And now let's listen to Helen Collins give her defense to what she wants the council to hear and what she hopes that they will do.
I was given a binder like this with no result, and this is what I came up with. This case is a witch hunt.
Joining me now to zero in on this is Billie Stanton Anleu with the Gazette. You were there, so tell me about what was going on here.
The City Council voted today to charge Helen Collins with 3 ethics violations. They voted 8-0 to charge her with tolerating waste, fraud, abuse, and corruption in government, engaging in actions that may create the appearance that they're violating law or ethical standards, and also creating the appearance of possible impropriety. So these are 3 violations of the code. They're not saying that she committed these things, but they are charging her with these violations of the ethics code in an 8-0 vote, from which Helen did not recuse herself, but she was recused by the council president.
Okay, how did they make these charges? How did they decide on these charges?
We really don't know how they decided on these charges, Eric, because they suddenly voted 8-0, and while there was discussion about removing an insignificant clause about an independent hearing officer from the motion, there was no discussion about the different charges that they might have considered, which might be better than others, how many to consider. It seemed to be a done deal when they took their vote.
Speaking of a done deal, let's focus on procedure and something that we're calling a meeting tree.
Yes, when they tried to have an executive session on Monday to discuss with their attorney what options they might have, Helen Collins refused to leave the room. And because she would not recuse herself, and I think they didn't want to have her bodily removed, they decided they would meet 2 by 2 with their contract attorney to discuss what their options are. And so they met 2 by 2, discussed their options, and came into the meeting today with a vote that was ready to go. Ready
to go, but was it legal according to the open meetings law? You're not an attorney, but you've consulted with an attorney to talk a little bit more about that.
Yes, one of the top First Amendment attorneys in the state, Tom Kelly, who I've known for decades and is top-notch, is questioning whether this really falls into the legalities of the open meetings law, because you can't exactly have meetings, even if you're doing 2 by 2 and then someone's connecting the dots, that's considered really playing with the parameters of the open meetings law. So he did raise some questions about what took place today and yesterday, for that matter.
So what's next for Helen Collins?
Helen Collins now has 5 days in which she can be notified of the charges, which of course she already knows because she was there today. And then there are 10 days in which she can request a public hearing, either before the council or between a hearing officer. And she appears to want to do that before the council, according to what she said today, but she can rethink that and choose another venue. And she'll have 10 days in which the council will be able to set up such a hearing so that she can have that due process within a finite amount of time.
And of course we'll be watching, and so will you.
I will.
Thank you very much, Billie. And if you'd like to read Billie Stanton Anleu's full story, go to the Gazette and Gazette.com. With Between the Lines, I'm Eric Singer, Gazette.com.